Hey everybody, Rhadamant here. Thanks for tuning in to RimWorld Survival. So I can finally check some things off of the checklist here. The expanded power grid and moving the power grid are done, and I'm working towards the second hydroponics. That way I can feed the extra mouths that are in the ancient danger. Alright, so a quick recap. We did take a bunch of prisoners in that last sapping raid. This is the same faction that had Ape. I was intending to release Ape, and that's why I was patching him up. Captain Cancer, you might remember him as. And Ape did not so much survive, so yeah, that was unfortunate. What I'm going to do here is these prisoners, let's go to their health, their defaults. And prison colonists are not going to get any meds anymore. And then for meals, let's just call, I'm going to need new food restriction. Prison food. Prison food is either going to be, let's get rid of everything. It's either going to be nutrient-based meals or raw insect meat. Oh, that sounds awful. Okay, setting that as the default here. And that way they are less of a strain on my already delicate food insecurities. Yeah, Stormy, haul that back. I caught Stormy and Tony trying to be nice and feed them real food. Will not allow that. Alright. I'm just trying to think. I think I'm going to work on the hydroponics the most. At the moment, I guess it's a good time to read some tips here. So Turtle Sandwich was the one that suggested feeding the prisoners garbage, basically. And I'm totally all for that. He might not have suggested the raw insect meat. That was kind of me doing that. But I have no soul, so, you know. That explains why I think it's fine feeding them garbage. Let's go for other tips. Dan Hellman mentioning the door to the tea house, this one, right here, is forced open. That's a remnant of the raid, and it was leaking precious heat. So if we take a look at the base, this room is a lot less comfortable. Fortunately, it hasn't really spilled over to the bedrooms yet. So that's a blessing in disguise. All of the bedrooms are just about perfect temp. Alright, I'm plugging in my NPM, trying to get it going so that we can actually feed them NPM meals. Because we're actually getting through our insect meat, but once we expand our tunnels north, we'll have a lot more insect meat. The insect meat, of course, is use for kibble. Oh, looks like we're getting... oh, yeah, we have been getting some beer. That's nice. The new power grid, Dan mentions, needs to be home zoned. That's a fair point. I almost never remember to do that. There is little splotches of random home zone everywhere. Gotta love it, right? I suppose I would have noticed had something broke or set fire. But let's take a quick look. The old home zone could definitely be removed from... or the old power grid location could be removed. And then for limited radiation could be removed as well. Wow, Jane's at 18 construction. What was he working on? Ah, he was smoothing out floors. And do one last quick check for... acceptable locations. Let's see. Oh, I thought that was clearing it, not painting it. Alright, that looks about good. We're still working towards the goal of adding in those poor souls locked up in there. It seems so far away. But, no, I'm working towards it. Alright, one of the prisoners just went on a bit of a rampage. Stormy putting an end to that real quick. I like how his berserk rage caused by intense pain. You know what? That's only going to get worse, my friend. It's only going to get worse. All right. So the food defaults. Let's go take a look at that. Managing food restrictions. Yeah, now their defaults for the medicine are at least correct. As soon as I'm confident they can make it out to the edge of the map without collapsing, I'll be kicking them to the curb. Let's go ahead and add this to limited radiation. Alright, we can speed time up. I've sort of covered everything. So we are currently researching powered armor. That'll be nice to have. And again, there we go. NPM is finally plugged in. I wasn't sure why that was behaving the way it was, but no, get the okay, you know what I'm gonna do? What if I forbid this? Will you get NPM meals? Oh, you know what? It's because there's nothing in the chute for it. So let's put vegetarian of rice in there. That's my fault. Alright, Jane's hitting the construction goals again. Let's take a look. Health, minor, stable. That's something that acid could actually work towards. In fact, we have enough meds at this moment. Wow, his lungs really are just taking a straight beating. Let's excise using real meds. Stormy is in a good mood, I hope. Is perfectly healthy, so that's good. And time to operate. With a lot of medicine. But, you know, cancer in the lungs. Let's get rid of it. Please. Please don't screw up. Another one goes berserk. See, the thing is, if Tony has to break up this fight, she just stab you good. Yeah. Don't mess with Tony. She's stabby stabby. Wow, you stabbed them in the neck. Alright, Jane's, again, is cleared of cancer. I'm going to have to be real careful with him because that is a recurring theme at this point of Cancer Jane's. I just want to tell these guys, like, look, dudes, you are... I could have just ended you. I could have thrown you in the crematorium after you bled out. So just behave, you know? Just stop causing trouble. So one thing I could do... Oh, so this is going to be 2 different grow zones. Cute. For now, is to set up this grow zone for flowers. Flowers will grow in low light, whereas anything that you can eat or harvest for purpose does not. Really, right in front of Tony. Alright, these guys are getting tossed to the curb in a second here. Because they done pissing me off. Alright. Let's see. Unfortunately, as time goes on, because of the pain they're in or whatever, they're honestly getting more beat up rather than less beat up. How that is, I really don't know. But it's also very cold in here. So I can definitely build a heater. That I can do. Let's get Cefalu to work on that. Another thing I really, really want is a shirt for Cefalu. I'm thinking about forcing him to wear the parka that is not very good. And we have a... oh. Crud. K-R-U-D, crud. Will this spread? I don't know. I'm gonna keep an eye on it. And if it starts to spread, I'm gonna send back up. A fire foam popper up in there would not be a terrible idea. That happens a lot. I'm just saying. Alright. You rotten little idiots. I've now cared for you, fed you, patched you up after your tantrums. You shall behave for me. Well, it's nice and hot in there, at least. Oh, boy. So a quick reminder, of course, the Healer Mech Serum trade for machine pistols. And we have the machine pistols. So... Kazumi? Can you build? You can build. You just don't do dumb labor. I'm gonna send Kazumi some meals. Actually, there's food here, as long as it doesn't catch fire. And all the machine pistols. And get her going now. Why Kazumi? Because she doesn't have any radiation. And she runs real fast. So, it looks actually like we have enough fuel as well. But I could send some additional. So let's go ahead and do that. Kazoom Zooms. And 20 pemmican. A component or two. Don't forget the machine pistols. 1, 2, 3, 4. Some clothing we're not going to want. I am deciding that he's not going to force wear it. What else am I missing here? Some steel, so I'm going to bring 50 steel and 48, 60 steel. Okay. That will about do it, I think. And we're going to have multiple people helping to load for speed so that there's actually something to live in. So this is an attempt to bury the cables in the walls so that we can't have the events that do that. Stone would not... oh, okay. So it's spontaneously combusting now. That's not good. Kazumi really needs to leave, like, promptly. This is so annoying. Alright, see, I'm planting roses for you guys. So if you could be less fussy and threatening to, like, kill me and whatever, that'd be awesome. Janes. Beauty here, 2.0, see? I'm working on it. Okay, so everything's kind of set in fire. I'm trying to get there fast, fast, fast. Alright, I think everything is getting loaded now. Go, Kazumi, go! Alright, launching. It is a straight inferno now. And I'm starting to lose furniture. So what I'm going to need to do is deconstruct the door so that I actually might be able to put things out. Because if I just ran in, it'd be too hot and I'd die. Damn, those walls burned for a long time. Alright, what I'm going to do is deconstruct... Why is there even power cables there? For dead power, I guess? Alright, she'll never do cleaning, so unfortunately for me, she was not a particularly great pawn to send. Let's see. Working on the lamp. Trying to keep her inside as much as I can. So this is going to be one really gross outpost for a bit. But, you know, it's whatever. If it works, it works. Alright, checking back home. Jane's and Cefalu, not the happiest they've ever been. Oh, is this another machine pistol? Yeah, let's go ahead and cancel that and kill that queue and turn this off, considering we don't need it anymore. Alright, back to Kazum's. She's a whole lot of repair ahead of her. No. Should have prevented her from going to sleep. Okay, so world, you, caravan. So she doesn't do dumb labor, but I beg to differ. Actually, what I'm going to do is have her haul the steel. And the chem fuel, because that's not coming with me. Alright. So now we're just about ready to leave. Oh, you know what? I'm going to run the risk of staring at these dead people. And... Alright, so she is walking out that way. That's not going to work for me. Let's try to get her walking out to the south. Forum caravan, you again. You are going to walk south, please. Alright, so she's gonna dump everything first, because that's just the way a caravan works. And I'll tell her to pick it all back up. And now she's major braking. Oh boy. I'm gonna have you consume some ambrosia. Alright, let's load all this stuff up. Okay, that's a decent walk there. Alright, so she is not to be worried about. And now I'm going to visit Eos for that heal mech serum. Safalu is okay. Sure. Sounds good to me. Alright, these prisoners, let's see. Walking speed, 2.5, 08, 1.5. Okay, so Gaukum and Tapir can be released. And now they're neutral. The aim for that was, because we are still hostile with one more tribe. If we look at the factions here, the Savage tribe is still hostile with us, so we can still potentially get tribal raiders, which is good, because I find them easier than pirate bands. But then it's potentially another ally that offers us missions and stuff. So I don't mind that at all. That's kind of nice. Alright, Kazumi, your caravan move speed is probably something ridiculous. So here we are, fulfilling the trade order. And then the trade order's done. Let's go ahead and sell off the junk that I brought, which sells for basically nothing. But then take a look, because I can always send her more stuff via pod to trade. So there's an architect leg here that I am almost certainly not going to be able to get because of prices. Because if I check back home, yeah, I have no silver. So, yes, Kazumi, you have fulfilled your purpose. Time to go back home. Alright, so those guys are healing up. Get some rice going. I have a little bit of food scarcity, but nothing that concerns me at the moment. No longer capable of walking. Alright, you can walk it. You know, they can be released. Now that this room is all smoothed out, I'd like to repurpose it. Make it the grow room it's supposed to be. Now, if I'm doing a grow room, I'm going to need to further expand my solar just to offset the grow lamps, grow lights, whatever you want to call them. So what I'm going to do is expand the limited radiation zone here and then expand the home zone. And Safalu, you have very low radiation buildup. Outpost, 8 enemies. Okay. But you're busy. So here we're gonna grow rice now. And these guys will be slow, but they should be able to make it out to the edge of the map, no problem. Same with Kazumi. Alright, so that cost me, well, not too much. That's not that bad. Alright, so we're going to send her home, where she is safer and sounder. Refuel limit. She won't haul, so we're just going to have to leave the fuel there, which makes me nervous. Oh, God. But taking a look at my power, let's see how close. Yeah, so the short circuits here are, except for the door, are where stone tiles are. But, of course, the battery could short. I don't know. It's just a risk I'm going to have to take. If I have to rebuild it, I have to rebuild it. Leave the pemmican. Yeah. Alright, coming home. Please, random tile, don't explode. She's standing right there, so I'm just going to have her haul it, whether she wants to or not. So Healer Mech Serum, one of the uses of it, it can actually, not that I plan on doing it, it can actually remove everyone's... It is a cure-all, right? So if I needed to, it could be used to cure people of cancer. Like, in a jiffy, snap your fingers, you're cured. Or even radiation, potentially. But again, that might not be the best use for it. Okay, so all the prisoners have been dismissed, for lack of a better term. So then we have to figure out a nice layout over here that allows us... Because obviously I'm not going to be able to do this pattern, as we have some natural tiles that I want to make use of. So I have to figure out some sort of Jenga-esque pattern here that allows us to grow. I'm sure this is like terribly inefficient here, but yeah, some Jenga-esque pattern that allows me to use those natural tiles and put regular James is already doing that. Okay, cool. Dead power. We'll just put it right underneath. Man, we are low on resources. Alright, so there is the solar generators that will help to offset the grow lights. And then I really hope to get people mining up north, because it's probably the next big thing we need to do. And also work on the moods of some of these people that are, let's call it angry pissy. Just call these artifacts. So we're going to put the Healmech serum in the wall too. The purpose of this is to keep it safe from tantrums. Tantrums could target anything, right? And we don't... Oh, there was power there? Oh dear. That's a fire risk. It was dead power. I could have never really backfired on us. Alright, so now let's wall that up. I'm going to temporarily turn off the fab bench. We're, of course, going to need a whole lot of components to complete this, but... Alright, so there's 21 there, 25 here, so I'm down by 4. 21, 22, 23, 24. I don't know, I feel like this is like a decent design for the space, you know, the space that I had. I Jenga'd that in kind of well. And I can do it a little bit better. And then we're going to need a whole lot of resources to get this built. Alright, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4 spare holes here. But I don't think there's a way to combine them into one spot to build. So this is kind of like... This is what peak performance looks like. You might not like it, but this is what it looks like. Alright, so my artifacts are all protected. And Jane's is back to small sculptures. Sure. We have a very impressive dining room as a result, so I'm not going to complain. Aggro's finally making that button-down shirt that I've wanted for a long time. I'm going to convert everything in here over to rice. This will be the rice spot. I'm not even certain why this door even exists anymore, but whatever. Okay. Where are you? Wow, what are you guys doing? That is allowed? I guess it is. Okay. I guess. Who am I to argue? You know what I'm going to do with you, Acid, instead, because you ran all the way over here. We're going to make you clean out that spot entirely. Alright, so he's just about at weight. Then we will haul the no, where are you going? I like told him to haul. And he's like, what? Hauling? What's that? Alright, I have to be careful because some people are hauling very potentially irradiating slag. So I'm going to get rid of that. That's a big old no thanks. I don't need to be building up my radiation for basically no reason. You made another art piece. Here it is. Just good. Sure, whatever. Alright, at this point, I would say this can become... What do we want here? Double strand? Sure. Double strand 1. Double strand 2. Plug this bad boy in. I guess it was already plugged in, so let's turn it on. Don't need this on. And then roses 1. And daylilies. We'll make it plural even though there's only one. Daylilies 1. So obviously I could have grown more double strand here. But I don't really have a spot for my chickens, my hens, and I didn't want to try to convert this into a farm, and there's not enough tiles there to bother growing double strand there. It is possible in the north here, when I get up here, I can turn more of that area into double strand. That could prove to be useful and have a remote double strand farm. We'll see. It depends on how much territory is available to me. The next big thing is to get the hydroponic benches up. So the thing with that is, let's build from the back. It's going to require components and steel, and that means aggro is going to have to be cranking out components. And Jane's here is going to be set on limited radiation so that he can go mine the north. He needs rest, though. He's creating art about hyenas. I mean, alright. If it makes him happy, I don't care what the art's about. He's in desperate need of sleep, but he's such a good miner. And all these guys are diligently hauling. Okay, Seth, you are going to be on no radiation, so just turn around. You got up to 44. Man, that was quick. It does not take very long to build that up. Let's take a look. Okay, it's all overhead mountain, or it's safe, basically. So we're still good. Do a quick health check. Initial minor, but I'm going to risk you. minor, and a little high. So I'm going to put you on staying at home. Okay. Everyone else is fine. Another thing we could do is tile up this pathway here so that we can traverse it more rapidly. I like how he's nimble and also the only heavyset character in this current lineup. So please don't get cancer, sir. Alright, we built one. I think rice, as crazy as it seems, I'm going to go with rice until I have a very generous stockpile of it. I guess that doesn't seem too crazy, because I barely have any rice here. And in fact, we no longer have need for the NPM, so I'm going to put this as low. And what I'll do when we have leftover kibble, let's just expand the pet zone so we can haul once rather than twice. Alright, so one of those has enough steel. He's getting built now. Kazumi, okay, you have a construction of 9. If it was lower, I'd be worried, but 9's actually pretty good. Jane's had tribal wear on? Oh, dear lord. I'm doing a really bad job of making these guys happy. Alright, so time to actually forget the rice. We're going to do a run of cotton. Alright, so the first thing we absolutely need is pants. Jane's can't be running around doing the no pants dance because he's already the most temperamental. And if he doesn't wear pants, he's going to go ape. Sorry, buddy. The more, I want to tell them, the more you mine now, the more stuff I get. How nice is this now? Still just very impressive. Okay. Takes a lot to kick it up. Ooh, look at that rice. And there's the pants. Unhappy nudity. Gone. That's what I like to see. And soon we're going to have the first actually healthy stockpile of rice that I've had like ever. So that's super cool. And then I'm going to do a giant run of cotton because we need backup clothing, and then we also need to turn some of that in cloth into meds. Alright, so Falu did not get cancer. So that's a blessing, right? And then what I'm going to do is harvest this early. It's at 98%, just so that everything's at the same rate of growth. It's a lot of rice. If I zoom out, let's see. 500 rice. I went from like 75 to 500. That makes me feel good. That I set myself, I set my mind to a task, and that task sees measurable progress. Yeah, look at that. Look at that beautiful amount of rice. 524 rice. It's funny because, you know, in a lot of other... Oh, and... The volcanic winter has ended, which means my solar power generators are going to be pulling more power, which is super, super, super useful. Well, guys, on that bombshell, I will call this episode to a close. Like I always say, and I'm sure you've heard me say this, thank you so very much to all of my patrons that allow me to even have a YouTube channel. Without you guys, it would not be possible at all. And also thank you to the viewers for tuning in and turning off those ad blockers sometimes so that the ad revenue of Google can flow in. For your tips, tricks, and feedback, for that I am becoming a better player every time you leave a comment. And I'll catch you all later. Thanks for watching. Aloha.